awakening. Now is the time when we are ready for clarity. Clarity without the breakdown creates harm. Because what is clarity? Clarity is truth. It's facts. Love is honest with you. But here's the thing that's happened for you if you're watching this video. The truth, clarity, wasn't delivered with love. The truth was delivered with judgment, shame, made you feel less than. The truth was harmful. The truth is probably what made you hear you're too emotional. Your reaction to the truth and judgment is what caused a problem. But here's the really cool thing. The truth isn't judgment. The truth is actually a map. It helps you know where you're at today, and it helps you understand yourself so that you can adjust and make it where you want to go. The truth is information. The truth can be such a beautiful warm hug when delivered in love. Now, a lot of the times, we, as in everyone here watching this video, recovering from trauma, we find safety in people who aren't very honest with us. Let me repeat that. We find safety in people who are not very honest with us. Which means we find safety in liars. We do. Which is probably why we have had the relationships that we have had. If you've ever asked yourself, why? Why did I find myself with that person? That person didn't love you enough to tell you the truth. The person didn't even know the truth. You didn't have to face the truth in yourself. See, the healing journey we're on isn't just healing from what other people have done to us. It's also healing what we have chosen and done to ourselves. And it's important to know why. Why we chose the things we did. Why our behavior is the way that it is. Without judgment. We find people who don't wake us up. We find people who lull us to sleep. But there's a really beautiful moment that happens after you've had the breakdown, after you've yelled to the sky in anger and outrage. We've all had those moments. Once you let go of all that emotion, the emotion that's ready in that moment, finally, the moment comes. The moment of awakening. Now, this isn't just your ability to see the truth in a negative way. This is your ability to see the truth in a very positive way as well. Because while we may have chosen partners or relationships in our life with people who don't tell us the truth in a negative way, they also don't tell us the truth in a positive way. They want you to feel trapped. They want you to feel stuck. They want you to not want more. They want you to not want change. But in awakening, not only are you able to see the truth of why you are where you are, why you chose what you have, and the behavior that you are in, you're also able to see hope. Hope in yourself. Hope in your future. Maybe for the first time. Maybe for the first time in a while. This is when you start to believe, not here yet, but here and here. You start to believe that possibly, maybe, something amazing can happen for you in your life. I'm here to tell you that it can. And if you're watching this video, it absolutely can. Because you're searching, you're willing, and you're open. No one that goes on a healing journey, no one that is human, will discover that they did nothing wrong and only bad things happened to them. No one. Okay? I myself have faced very painful clarity moments. The best of us have. The courageous ones are the ones willing to face it, to see it. And the confident ones are the ones willing to change in spite of it. It's not enough to be courageous. Confidence comes through experience, which means you have to experience and feel it all. You aren't going to feel like the most confident version of yourself here. You might feel like the most courageous person because maybe you left a situation that no longer served you. Maybe you finally had it in you to say enough is enough. You had the conversation. I'm hinting at the next phase, undoing. But in this moment, we haven't done anything yet. We're not taking action yet. We're preparing for action. And before you take really big steps to undo really big consequence, it is essential to have hope in your future. You don't have to be perfect to have a beautiful life. You don't have to deserve beautiful things. Wonderful things happen to shitty people every day. Unfortunately, yes? You don't have to prove yourself. But I'm curious. What is it that you want? I mean, if love herself could walk into the room where you are, if love herself said, I have a magic wand, what do you want? In this phase, the answer is very different than when we are in sleepwalking. When we are just surviving or avoiding, what we want is very different than when we're in a space where we are able and willing to see the truth. You see, there is a moment of awakening and clarity. But there is a moment of awakening and inspiration and hope as well. Have you ever wondered, why can't I feel hope? Why can't I feel inspiration? Awakening. Well, not enlightenment, is a moment when you have access to actually feel these emotions. And you feel them in truth. Like, maybe I'm not a perfect person. Maybe I've chosen some really effed up things. But damn it, I can feel something great. I can feel like maybe all of this work will be worth it. A lot of us mistake these emotions as something else in the lower two phases. A lot of us will think that we felt hope and inspiration, and what we've actually felt was delusion, which can appear hopeful, which can appear like inspiration. But delusion feeds the first two phases. If you have a breakdown, but you are stuck in delusion, you are not ready for awakening. Awakening is when delusion shatters. It's when love comes forward and says, you, yes, you are ready for greatness. But it doesn't look how you thought it would. In this phase, you have to be willing to release the expectation of what future you painted for yourself in sleepwalking to make your life feel better. And what this looks like is, well, maybe I'll get famous. Because then none of this will matter. Maybe I'll make it big. Because then all the pain will be worth something. delusion in the conditioning of our brain creates a need to be special. The exception to the rule, to be more special than anyone else that's special. I want to be the specialist. Because then I will heal from this pain. A lot of trauma comes from neglect. That can be from your parents, caretakers, but most importantly, that can be from yourself. See, when we step in this phase, it's no longer, well, those bad things happened to me. I didn't have the right parents. I didn't have the right people in my life. Sure, neither did a lot of us. And yet, a lot of us still find happiness in love. Here, you don't have to be special. You let go of the expectation of this, and you step into, I want to be me. Wanting to be special isn't bad. Isn't that why we have love? Romance? It's not a bad thing to want to be loved and adored by someone else. You don't have to give up that desire. But if you go into this world thinking that the world owes you something, there was no contract given. You didn't sign up and say, yeah, I'll take some fucked up parents so I can make it big. Sure. And I guarantee you, an entire generation after generation did not sign up for the same thing. Here's the biggest truth I can tell you, and it is wrapped with love. You aren't more special than anyone else watching this video. You're not. What I love about that is you don't have to prove yourself in this experience. You don't have to prove that you're the specialist. You don't have to prove that you've gone through the most pain, that you've overcome the most, that you are worthy for amazing things. Because I know if you're watching this video and you are ready to see the truth, your life will be more fulfilling than anything you could have created in delusion. We all want to be the exception to the rule. Every movie star says, I wish I was normal. I wish I could just go to the grocery store and not have paparazzi chasing me down. I wish I could just date like a normal person. And the rest of us are going, I'd like to test that theory. I would like to try a day in your shoes. Because I think I would actually really like it. I mean, I am a loner, so I'd be fine. We are lonely. We have created dreams that fix our loneliness. And today I'm telling you, those dreams need to die. Right, we have a joke here that my mom and I are dream killers. It sucks to hop on calls and say, that dream is a delusion. And at the same time, we want the best outcome for anyone that we talk to. I would love to have a story where somebody hopped on this call, went through this healing course, and then became a famous actress. I'd be like, hey, yo, remember me? Let's do an interview together. That would work well for me, right? I wouldn't be sad about that. I would be like, wow, hey, testimonial. But I don't need that to feel really good about what I do. And you don't either. Let me tell you what feels really good. When somebody says, wow, I'm really afraid to want this because I don't think it could actually happen for me. Fill in the blank. Sometimes that's a career. Sometimes that's a healthy relationship. Sometimes it's wanting to be a parent. Sometimes it's wanting to help people overcome pain. Whatever it is for you, whatever you're afraid to want because you might not be good enough, that's where the magic is. Because it's almost like when we say we want to be famous, it's so that we're worthy for anything that we want. No one ever says, I really enjoy acting. So much so that I could just act all day. And I'm actually signed up for 80 hours a week of acting classes. If that person were sitting in front of me and saying, I want to be a famous actress, maybe you should think about it. You love it so much. But the goal should never be fame. Much like here, our goal should never be happiness, success, fulfillment. Our goal here should be stepping into who we are, because there's a trusting that when we are, who we came here to be, those feelings of happiness, fulfillment, success will happen. We don't have to force it. So many times I have wanted to book a psychic session. Just tell me how the rest of my story goes for the rest of the year. Tell me, play by play. What happens on a Monday, October 31st? Tell me. Why do you think we want to know it all? Because we don't want to be surprised. And we don't want to be let down. But all of the feelings that we're hoping to reach will always be attached to a risk. If there was a person that I could bring forward on this video and say, hey, I know that if you date this person is going to love you, they're going to want to support you, they're going to want to create children with you, they're going to want it all with you. And they will never cheat on you. They will never lie to you. Here's this person. And if you say yes, this person is going to propose to you on this date. You're going to get married at this place, it's going to look like this. Here's a picture. Do you want to go on a date with that person? You might say, yeah, let's try that. Sure. But if you had a notebook of everything that was going to happen on every day, and you knew, oh, well, wow, okay, it's going to be like 2 years till we get engaged. Okay, well, just settle in. I'm going to go have fun then. You're not going to enjoy the moments. You're going to wake up and go, oh, I already know. When that person asks you, you're going to be like, yes. What's beautiful is when what you want happens and you weren't sure if it would or not. Like when someone asks you to marry them and you're like, oh my God, oh, right now? Like, there's all this excitement. Or maybe you wanted to start a business and you weren't sure if it was going to work. And all of a sudden, people want to book you. Really? Me? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can actually help anybody. Oh. At some point, you realize that if you really did know it all, you would feel nothing. You would live in a place of neutral. You would have nothing to look forward to. You would have no hope and no inspiration. Because hope is something that possibly maybe could happen. Not something that certainly for sure will happen on this date. Inspiration is not a promise. It's an idea. It's fun. At some point you realize if you knew it all, creativity itself would die. And if you're watching this video, you need to be creative. You need to feel hope and inspiration, even if we weren't overcoming the brain. Because that's the human experience. To not know, to experience, to try. If you knew everything, you wouldn't be confident. You would be knowing. Which is why confidence doesn't come from knowing it all. It comes through the experience of the risk. And why, when things don't go our way, we should value that failure. Because that's what makes the other moments so sweet. That's what makes living worth living. We want to step into a space where we aren't afraid of consequence and the positive dreams that we want. Now, I'm not here telling you everything you want can absolutely for sure happen on this date. But what I am telling you is, in awakening, if you let go of delusion and you're willing to see the ugly truth, the beautiful lies, you will change. But you can't see all your choices, all your behavior, everything that you have to change without a hope for your future. Because then it's too overwhelming. You won't make it to the next phase. Because you need motivation. There's really no motivation in sleepwalking. In breakdown, anger becomes your motivation. In awakening, the feeling that possibly, maybe, something amazing will happen to you. And that something amazing, not delusion, that something amazing is something amazing. When you search within yourself and you become honest with yourself and you are able to get honest about what you want, your life changes in the direction of every beautiful transformation you could ever ask for. In my life, I was sleepwalking, trying to be the cool girl in New York City. I don't need labels. What is that? What is a label anyways? No, like only like needy people need labels, you know? Like, cause I'm just like so cool. I mean, if that isn't manipulation, I don't know what is. I want you. So I'm going to tell you what I want you to hear, even though I know it's not true, because I don't want you to go anywhere. Huh. We want to control. And that's what I'm telling you. In awakening, we lose control. Not because someone takes it from us, but because we let go. We let go. In breakdown, I'd cry every night on the subway on the way home. Oh, I'm so lonely. I would just sometimes, my intention was don't cry in front of strangers today. Sometimes I just broke down. Good thing New Yorkers don't really notice people anyways. Until one day, I finally said, no. I'm not going to continue to choose this toxic person who loves me without a label. And maybe that's okay for someone else, but I need to be clear with myself. See, that person wasn't the bad guy. That person was exactly who he said he was. I was the one who said I was different. And when I finally had enough of that charade, I said no. I am a label person. And damn it, I want a label. Who wouldn't want to label me? You know? Let's label. But I needed hope in my future. See, for me, awakening was recognizing that I was afraid to want to ever get married or have kids because that person is going to just walk out on me and cheat on me. I don't want that. So we create a story, a delusion, that, no, I'm gonna be this like cool girl and I'll be totally fine. It'll be like Sex in the City, you know? It'll be fun. The awakening is, I'm afraid to love. Because I've only seen heartbreak. I don't have one healthy example of love in my life where things went well. So why would I want something but I don't even know if it's possible? Because I want it. Because today, in awakening, I'm ready to say, I want it, and I'm afraid, but I'm willing to try. And what if, possibly maybe, a beautiful love story can happen?